How's it going, everybody? Jody in here, back with another episode in my Farming Simulator 22 series. And I have no idea what episode this is. I have like 2 or 3 pre-records sitting on my computer right now, so I'm like, what episode am I on? I don't know. One thing I do know is we gotta get this shit back running again. And let's do it. Oh, no. Nearest waypoint. You get that shit going. Alright. You're fine, and we got this guy. Nearest waypoint. Rock and roll. Okay. So yeah, last episode I actually ended up having to leave. I do remember I had to leave because my ankle was sore. I still got a pretty bum ankle. Today it's better though. I went out and actually got myself a compression sock, and I'll tell you one thing, man. If you ever injure your ankle, or I don't know, maybe your wrist or elbow or whatever, get yourself some compression on that. It helps so much. Anyway, I got some news I'm gonna start off this episode with. Farming Simulator 25 has, of course, launched. It launched actually a little while ago, but I was just able to... where are you going, buddy? I was just able to get my hands on it via purchase. Via purchase. And I'm going to tell you that I have also refunded it. I have purchased it, and I have refunded it. And the reason I didn't do a video on it was because I was not, how do I say this? Because I do like the Farming Simulator series. How do I say this? Well, before I play a game, before I do recording of a game, the first thing I do is test it to make sure that it's going to work. I want it to run, you know, nice, without any crashes, without any flaws, as nice as possible. I mean, you do still run into some technical issues here and there when you're playing games, but I kind of want it to run as nice as this one. Now, during my testing with Farming Simulator 25, I instantly ran into problems. I had graphics tearing, I had graphics stuttering. I did discover that they're using the exact same engine, which makes absolutely no sense. Well, it kind of does, but the fact that they're using the same engine, it's, I don't know, it almost seems like a money grab. It seems like they threw in new content to the already existing Farming Simulator 22. It just seems like they added new content. Like they basically modded it. Mind you, it does look nicer. It does look cleaner. But yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. It's not a game that feels like it's 3 years better than this one. It's a game that feels like they took this one and put out some DLC, or added some DLC to it. It really does not feel worth an entire purchase, especially not at full price. It does not feel like a full price purchase. So I did encounter the technical issues, like I said. Also, another thing that kind of burns my bridge is they still require you to have a second copy of the game to run a dedicated server. That, in itself, is absolutely killing the multiplayer community of this game. You would have a much more robust and much more active multiplayer community if you just make the dedicated servers free. You can't play on a dedicated server anyways. Like you can't play like this and run a dedicated server at the same time. So why the hell do you need a second key? It makes no sense whatsoever. There's not a physical person playing that dedicated server. That dedicated server is just there to host the map. So there should be absolutely no requirement other than blatant, ridiculous greed to require a dedicated server to have its own CD or its own copy of the game. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. No other game that I know of does this. Not a single one. Not a single one. I play games like Valheim. I play games like Conan, Ark, even like Space Engineers, Empyreon, tons of survival games. And not a single one of them requires you to pay for a second copy in order to host a dedicated server. This is the only game I know that does that. And Giants is, you know what? Your greed is going to kill you. Because somebody is going to come along. Look at Electronic Arts right now with their Sims franchise. People are tired of being ripped off, especially in this day and age. People are tired of being ripped off. And now you have, look at all the Sims clones that are coming out now that are basically taking over the community. People are excited about these clones. They want them to succeed. Why? Because Electronic Art has gotten greedy. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I think they clocked it. It was either $4,000 or $40,000 worth of DLC content in the store for The Sims. I believe it was Sims 4. It has gotten to the point where they have canceled The Sims 5 because the community outrage. They have canceled The Sims 5. And they are focusing on giving more to the Sims 4 community. That is how landmark it is right now. EA has canceled The Sims 5, and they are saying, we are now going to focus on The Sims 4. We are going to bring you more content. That content is going to be included. It's going to be free for the most part. They haven't entirely promised that, but they have kind of laid the foundation of that they're going to be basically giving back to the community that they've ripped off for so many years. So, and you know why this is happening? Because if you look at The Sims right now, there are so many Sims clones that are right on the edge of coming out. Right off the top of my head, Viva Land is a huge one that I'm waiting for, because it's going to have The Sims, it's going to have co-op the way The Sims should have had co-op. It's going to have, everything. It's going to have marriages, so you can actually marry another player. So if you and your fiance, or you and your wife, you and your girlfriend, whatever, you want to play this game together, you can get married in the game, and you can live in the same house, and you can have that house, and you can decorate that house together. And so, I mean, the stuff that people in the Sims community have been begging for and crying for years, these third-party groups are now popping up and saying, you know what, you guys don't have the community at heart. We're going to take it over, and the community is following them. And I feel that's what's going to happen with. That is what's going to eventually happen with games like this. Games with. Field 7 is finished. That's what's going to eventually happen with games like this. You have people in the community right now who are building huge mods for this game. They are learning how this game works, and what people want out of this game by the modding community. And I'm not saying modding is bad. Modding is actually very good, because modding should show a developer what the community wants. And Giant is missing out on that. They are ignoring that. Yeah, they gave us rice and whatever, but they're missing what the community is all about here. The community is about working together. The community is about doing this farming together. They show in their videos at the start of the game multiple characters working together. They have a father and daughter at the start of this game who are working together on a farm. You're not going to get people working together when you charge them for the damn server. You're going to get people like me who are playing this solo with robotic characters. That's what you're going to get. Because nobody wants to rent a server for this game. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. And please, if you do rent a server, please take this lightly, but the quote-unquote suckers are out there paying for servers from different hosting companies, and I'd like to know how these hosting companies are operating, because I guarantee you these hosting companies are not paying for every single individual server that they are running. They're not going to charge you, $14 a month and fork out, $60 for the server just for you to give it up in a month. They're not going to do that. and they're not buying 200 copies of the server just in case you come along and are like, "Hey, I want to play." No, they're not doing that. There's some kind of special deal that Giants has going on with these companies so they can get bulk servers and use bulk keys. Just like Microsoft does with, Windows and, schools and stuff. They'll give the school one key that the school can actually use on multiple computers, and they'll buy like a numbered license. Like this one license is for 300 computers, and I feel that's what Giants is doing behind the scenes. They have corporate servers basically, and they have deals with these companies. Like I'm just going to throw one out there that I've used in the past, Fragnet. Before I had my server, I ran servers. Before I had my own dedicated server at home, I ran servers, or I should say I rented servers, and Fragnet was one of the places I rented from. Great service. I mean, it was great. I forget what I rented at the time. I think it was a Rust server. But I only rented it for a couple of months because I just wanted to try it out. It was like the first time renting a server. Anyway, so I think that Giants has a deal with these places, and because of that deal, that they're actually getting these places to pay for servers. That's why they're keeping us down and requiring us to buy a copy of the server as well, because they basically designed it so that places like Fragnet or whatever other gaming sites there are out there can offer these servers. That's they got web interfaces built right into them, so they can offer these servers and get a bulk rate on them or whatever. And then you and I are stuck, if we want to run our own dedicated servers, you and I are stuck having to pay for an extra copy, which is absolute bullshit. And I just think that's showing a level of corporate greed with Giants. That is just, in my mind, it's unfathomable. It's basically shitting on your community. It really is. And I feel that eventually it's going to lead to their downfall. People love the farming simulator games, but you know what? I'm willing to bet as soon as another company comes up with one, if another company were to make a farming simulator game that played like this, but had a dedicated server that was free, you would see this community jumping on that game. You would see them doing that in a heartbeat. I know I would. I would. In a heartbeat. I would jump on that game in a heartbeat. And they can talk about licensing the vehicles and this and that, licensing the names like Crone and all that. You know what? They get those licenses for so cheap because it's free advertising. Look at that. I got a giant crone thing right on the side of the trailer here. You can't tell me that's not advertising. I mean, Crone's not. Where am I supposed to go with this shit? Crone is not sitting back going, "Hey, I want you to pay me, $5 million to use my name in your game." They're sitting back going, "Hey, this is great. This is going to get out there, and people are going to see these trailers, and people are going to see all the designs that we got, and people are going to see this, and people are going to see that, and our name's going to be slathered all over it." You think they're going to charge for that? If anything, it's the other way around. The game company is going to be going to Crone and saying, "Hey, we want to use your vehicles. It's going to be free advertising." and if I were like Crone or John Deere or whatever, I'd be saying, "Hell, right, go for it." That's free advertising. That's you're giving these games to kids who are probably in some way tied to farming. Either their dad's a farmer, or they like farming, or they themselves maybe grow up to be a farmer, because they enjoy farming. Like, I would hop on a farm. I would love to farm, but it's not my reality, unfortunately. But I play this game because I'm interested in farming. Yeah, because I'm interested in farming. Now I have Crone thrown in my face. I got John Deere thrown in my face. I got it's free advertising. So the fact that I've heard giants say before, "Oh, we have to pay for the royalties and this." You know what? I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. I doubt they're paying very much in royalties because, like I said, it's free advertising for the company. Where am I supposed to take this? To the mill. Okay. Where's the mill? Mill's in town, isn't it? So yeah, I'll guarantee you there's some kind of licensing deal, so they can actually use the names. But as far as oh, we got to charge you guys because we got to pay for the licensing, I don't buy that in the least. The hell's the mill? And let me go one further on that. Even if where's the mill? Oh, there it is. Even if they do have to pay some kind of licensing for it, which again, I highly doubt because it is free advertising. If they did have to pay some kind of licensing fee for the name, it's not going to be a huge licensing fee, and it's probably going to be a company licensing fee, which means all they got to do is maintain it. It'll be the same license that they had for 19, for 22, for 25. It's going to be the same licensing because it's the company that rents the license or gets the license. It's not licensing for the specific game. It's licensing for the company that makes the game. So Giants is the one that owns the licensing, or not owns it, but has rented the licensing, whatever you want to call it, is paying for the licensing to use the name, if they even are, so they can use it in their games. Their contract, all they need to do is expand the contract to say, okay, now we're going to use it in this game. Okay, now we're going to use it in this game. Okay, now we're going to use it in this game. Or they might have an open contract that says we can use it in all farming simulator games. My point being, it's very doubtful that the requirement for you and I to buy a second copy just for a dedicated server has anything to do with licensing requirements. Number one, because there is no licensing on a dedicated server. You're not seeing the Crone label. You're not seeing the tractor, the Volterra tractors. It's just it's text on a screen for a dedicated server. It's it's coding. It's what do you call it? Log files. That's all you're seeing. You're not actually seeing any of the any of the likenesses on a dedicated server, like a physical dedicated server, because there is no graphical interface on a dedicated server. It's all coding, or actually it runs in like a DOS window, command prompt, whatever you want to call it. I'm old school, so I still call it a DOS window. But anyway, so as far as Farming Simulator 25 goes, I purchased it, I checked it out, I refunded it, I wrote a review on it, because Steam will actually, because I'm a Steam curator, I could actually write reviews on games that I have not played on Steam. So I can purchase a game, like say off of Xbox, and I can refund it on Xbox, and I can still post a curator review on Steam. I can't post a full review because you have to have purchased the game on Steam to post a full review. But as a curator, I can post a curator review. So you know, that's what I did, and I said basically the same thing as I'm saying to you guys. I'm saying, you know, it's got graphical bugs that they need to patch out and fix. It's running on the same engine, which makes it feel more like a mod than a game that took 3 years to develop. I mean, come on, this is 22, that's 25, that's 3 years. It feels rushed. It feels like they rushed it out, which I don't know. I don't understand that, because the game is 25, so technically they could have waited until next year to release it, and they wouldn't have to change the name or anything. So it kind of feels rushed out. Kind of like, you know, somebody just said, to hell with it, let's launch. Or the launch date is here, we're not going to push it back, we're just going to launch. You know, it feels like it was... It feels like it was pushed out before it was completely ready. The new crops really aren't that spectacular. I mean, think about it in the same way that when the trees first came out. When the trees first came out, you remember all the limitations there were on the trees when they first came out? When we first got forestry? That's kind of how the rice and that feels. I mean, just like the grapes and the vineyards and the olives in this one, it feels kind of hacked in, like it feels modded in. You know, you don't go plant rice fields. You go into your, or not rice fields. You don't go. You don't plant. Oh hell, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't plant grapes. You don't plant grapes. When you come in here and you go into, what is it? Yeah, production under orchards. This is how you plant grapes, or this is how you plant your olives and your grapes, like this, and you draw them in on the map. It's more like a mod than a part of the game. It's not something. It doesn't have a machine to go plant it. You know, it has machines to harvest. Like if you go into the grapes here, it has a machine to harvest it, and mind you, you're looking at it, one machine to harvest. And if you go into olives, you're looking at it, one machine to harvest. And it's pretty much the same machine. It's the Broad 9070 over here, and on... No, don't do that. I don't want to buy it. It's the Broad 9070 over here. If you go over here, what do we got over here? The Broad 9090. It's basically the same machine. It's very, very similar to the same machine. But anyways, you have one machine for each. It's like they threw it in. They said, here you go, blah. And that's the same way that the rice feels. Because I know everybody was big on the rice being added. They did add more, but I'm just saying. Everybody was huge on the rice being added because that was the big thing that they showcased. But it feels the same way. It feels like the same thing. It feels like they basically modded it in. They didn't rebuild the engine to now suit this new way of doing things, this new field design. They just kind of modded it in or hacked it in. And I really don't like that. So, I mean, what I recommended to people is either, well, definitely wait until they get some patches out, because right now it's a buggy mess. But also, wait until 25 either shows up on Game Pass, where you can, that's the way I'm playing 22 right now. I would buy 22. I would, but right now it's on Game Pass, so I don't have to. But if it left Game Pass, I would probably buy it. But as far as 25 goes, I will either wait for it to show up on Game Pass, or I will wait until it's got at least 50% off on Steam. At least 50. 50% off. That's what I'm telling you right now. I want that sucker to be sold for $30, not 60. Because it's not worth 60. Especially if you already own 22, or if you're already playing 22. Yeah, Farming Simulator 2025 is not worth $60. Not by a long shot. It is worth half that. If you own 22 already, or if you're already playing 22, even that, even $30, to me seems high for what you're actually getting. It's it just seems like another one of those companies that is coming out with a simulator every couple of years, and they're not really changing much. They're throwing you a little dog bone here and there, like Microsoft used to do. Microsoft used to do the same thing until they smartened up. I mean, they came out with they were going with the flight simulators and the train simulators, and they weren't really adding much for each new one that came out. They didn't really add much. And now what? And what eventually happened? You had them stop at Flight Simulator X, right? And they handed that over to another company. They handed that over to Dovetail, which turned it into a DLC nightmare. And then Microsoft just recently came out with their new Flight Simulator. And guess what happened to it? It went straight to Game Pass. It went straight to Game Pass. It didn't even come out and go, you know what, we're going to sell this first, and then we're going to go to Game Pass after we've got our initial sales. No, straight to Game Pass. And do you know why? Because people wouldn't buy it. People were not going to buy it. They were not going to buy it because they had been screwed by Microsoft before. Microsoft had to make the play and say, okay, we're going to put this out on Game Pass so people can see that we've made improvements, that this is not the same old game with just some upgrades. And then people would buy it. And they also had to do that because there are so many clones out there now. There are so many flight simulator games out there now that have taken over the market, that some people are even going, these are better than Flight Simulator. And so Microsoft now, instead of having the corner of the market, they now have to compete with their simulator games. And that's how this is going to turn out. That is what Giant is setting themselves up for. They are setting themselves up to end up with competition. And it's just going to take one or two farming simulator games to come out, or farming simulator, clones to come out. I believe, was there one in the works? I don't know if there was one in the works. Let me take a look here. Oh, by the way, the alternatives for like Flight Simulator, you had X-Plane. X-Plane was the huge one. When X-Plane came out and X-Plane did its thing, it basically put the shoes to Microsoft's Flight Simulator, and that's why Microsoft kind of had to back off and say, "Oh, wait a minute, okay, we're going to put our Flight Simulator on hold They did not come out with a new flight simulator for a while, and they had to basically rethink the entire way of doing things. Um, so, I mean, that's just how they had to go. Now, right now, basically, there is no competition for Farming Simulator. So Giants is still sitting there, playing along as if they're the king, because they right now they are the king. But like any other king, they can be dethroned really quickly. Um, so if there is another farming simulator game that comes out, um, like maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll call it like Farming World or something like that. Uh, it's already been proven that holding on to a genre like this game is not possible, because X-Plane did it to Microsoft. X-Plane did it to Flight Simulator. So somebody could come out with a farming simulator like this farming simulator that is very, very much along the same lines as far as playability, and they can put the shoes to Giants, and they could offer the free dedicated server, keep it open to modders, put in the additional crops for without making it DLC, seasons without making it DLC. Yeah, like it, because Giants did that in the past. They did that in the past. Remember? You might not remember that. A lot of the stuff that they include now was originally DLC for earlier games, and they had to include it because people would not buy the game if it wasn't included, because they got used to playing it on the earlier games. But anyway, getting back to what we were talking about here, all it would take, like I'm saying, is for another company to come in with a farming game that plays like this, and Giants would have the shoes put to them. They would have to smarten up. They would have to start saying, okay, well, dedicated servers are now free, free to use, because you purchased a game, so you are now able to play on a dedicated server and host a dedicated server. Because it's part of the software. I mean, when I purchased this game, if I were to purchase this game, right now I'm playing it on Game Pass, but if I were to purchase this game, the dedicated server comes with it. So I should be able to use the dedicated server without requiring, a second key. It's just kind of unconscionable that you have to have a second key to run a dedicated server. It's kind of stupid, actually. But anyway, going beyond that, it's when we're talking about Farming Simulator 2025, like I said, it's just, and I know I'm ranting now, and because I'm kind of pissed off. I'm really kind of pissed off at Giants, because I thought they had learned their lesson. I thought they had learned that the community is important. The community is what keeps the game going. I mean, you've seen how many mods I have installed in this playthrough. You've seen how many mods I have installed in this. This game would not be nearly as popular without the massive modding community that it has. And I just feel like Giants is just shitting on that community by making you pay to host your own server. I think Giants is just shitting on that community. And that community is the reason this game is big. Or is as big as it is. It's because of that community. People would not be playing this game if it was not moddable, and if there weren't a giant resource of mods. And I feel like Giants has taken advantage of that. I mean, it's to the point where they have their own built-in mod viewer. They've actually cashed in on the modders by having the mod viewer built right into the game. It's not like Steam. It's not like Steam where you have to go to Steam and install the mods via Steam. They have actually taken the modding community into the game You know, they brought the modding community into the game and made it part of the game. Are they reimbursing that modding community? I doubt it. Probably not. But they're charging them extra for a dedicated server. So, I don't know where the future is of Farming Simulator 25. I really don't. I don't know what the future is for Farming Simulator, period. The one thing I do know is I will not be purchasing it. I did purchase it, but I refunded it. I purchased it to check it out. But then I refunded it because I made sure I did not go over the refund window. And I don't know. I don't know. I'll be sticking to 22. I'll be sticking to 22 for as long as I can. And even if Giants decides to pull a thing where they're like, 25 is now released, we're taking 22 off the Game Pass to try to push people to buy 25. No, I will buy 22 before I buy 25. I honestly will. I will buy 22 before I buy 25. And the reason for that is because of how great the community made this game. It has nothing to do with Giants. It has to do with how great the community made this game. And I don't feel like that is going to carry on much longer. Because I feel that there is the community behind Farming Simulator, who made 19 and 22, the community that made these games great with their modding, I feel has reached a point where they're kind of done. They're kind of done with it. You still have modders out there, and you still have new modders coming out and taking over old mods and making sure old mods get put in the newer versions. But all of those great modders that you saw in the earlier ones, in the 19 and the 22, they're done. They're not continuing. They're not continuing. And the reason I feel that they're not continuing is because of the way that Giants has been treating the community. Because they've been treating the community like a meal ticket, basically. They haven't given anything back. They've been taking and taking and taking for years without giving anything back. And eventually people get tired of that. People get tired of being used. So, for my point, I'm not gonna get 25. If they pull 22 from the market, which would be a very dirty thing to do, but if they pulled 22 from Game Pass, I should say, not the market. If they pull it from Game Pass, especially with it being so close to the launch of 25, if they were to pull 22 from Game Pass, I would purchase 22. I would probably purchase it on sale. I would probably find a place that's got it for very, very cheap, because I do not want to support Giants in any way. If this is the way they're going to treat the community. So yeah. Basically, I am what I guess I would consider myself to be boycotting 2025. I'm boycotting Farming Simulator 2025. There, I said it. If it would be very, very simple for Giants to come out and say, hey, we made a mistake. We're going to let you guys do the dedicated server thing for free. I would change my mind. That is the huge thing for me. I thought we were past this, but apparently not. I thought we were past this. I thought they got enough backlash with 2022. I had thought they had gotten enough backlash with 22 and its pay for dedicated server, following 19's pay for dedicated server. Especially since the dedicated server hasn't really done anything. They haven't done anything to it by the looks of it. It's the exact same interface. Nothing has changed as far as the dedicated server goes. The interface is identical to the old one. And from what I can tell, the coding is pretty much identical too, as far as I can tell. You know, there might be patch things here and there, but the base coding is identical to the previous one. So it doesn't make any sense. I honestly don't see why somebody with a 22 could not run a dedicated server for 25. with some patching, with some modding. So get to it, modding community. Figure it out. Because it looks like the same damn server. It looks like the same damn server. We know it's the same engine. So I'm willing to bet somebody out there is going to figure out how to use their copy of Farming Simulator 22 to run Farming Simulator 25's dedicated server. I'm willing to bet somebody out there is going to figure it out. And it's going to be modded or patched, and that person is going to be a god amongst the community. Whoever figures that out is going to be a god amongst the community. They will be celebrated, because that alone will make the community just hop. If people who have been loyal to the community so far all of a sudden get that kind of a freebie, yeah. Well, not really a freebie, but you know what I mean. If we can actually use our 22 to host a 25 server, yeah, that would open up a lot of doors, and possibly save Giants ass. Because, like I said, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody. I know there are some diehard Farming Simulator people out there, and you know, more power to you. More power to you. To me, this is not my only game, so for me, value is definitely at the top of my list. Getting the most bang for my buck, and this is one of those games where you don't, because you know, I play group games. My group is all about co-op. We're all about helping each other out, playing together. And the fact that if we want to do that with this game, we have to buy a copy that basically nobody gets to use. We have to buy a fourth copy that nobody gets to use just for the server. I mean, that seems, that's just no, that's no. I don't know. I think the point that Giants miss, I think the whole point that is just over the heads, possibly over the heads of the people at Giants, is the fact that the people who are running the dedicated server are the same people who are playing the game. You're not going to run a dedicated server and just let it sit there. You're going to play it too. And I think their mentality is that they don't just want people playing dedicated, like running a dedicated server in their, you know, in their living room or in their office or whatever. They don't want a person doing that being the only tie to the game. Like, they want you to actually play it. So they're like, oh, you have to pay for a dedicated server. Because if we don't make you pay for a dedicated server, there's going to be a whole bunch of people out there just running the game for free. And that's not how it goes. That's not how it works. People who host dedicated servers actually play on them. They actually play on them. Especially in a game like this. You know, there are other games, like, you know, Rust and all that, where people will host dedicated servers just to host the dedicated server. They won't actually play on it. They're too busy, you know, with scoreboards and this, that, and the other, and becoming a fan to the community. But in a game like this, if you are hosting a dedicated server, you're playing the game. So you're forcing people to buy 2 copies. There's no reason for somebody to just host a dedicated server without playing on it. In this game, there's no reason. It makes no sense. I don't know a single person who would do that. Yeah, I'm renting a dedicated server for Farming Simulator. Oh, do you play Farming Simulator? No, I don't. I don't know anybody that would be like that. I don't know a single person who would be like that. The game's not that popular that you can make money off of it. If it was a game like Rust or something, I can see that, because then you could be like, oh, okay, well, then you could have a mini store, or even Minecraft. You know, I see people hosting Minecraft servers without playing on them because they're like, oh, okay, well, I can make money off of this. I can have like a web store, and I can do this. You know, Empyreon is the same way. You can have a web store, and you can offer this, that, and the other. You can't do that with this game. You can't have a web store with Farming Simulator, as far as I know. I don't see why you would. Unless you have something like, you know, pay $25 to, you know, get 1 million in the game. I don't know anybody who'd actually do that, though, because it's not that hard to make money in the game. You see me doing it all the time here. I'm at 34,000. I haven't done anything. I've done some missions. But, you know, this is not one of those games where you are going to run a dedicated server without running the actual game. So I don't see why they would make their dedicated servers stuck behind a paywall. That to me is, like I said, it's just corporate greed. That's all it is. That's all it can be. That's all it can be. There's no logic to it other than pay us money. So, I mean, I used to be a huge Giant supporter. Now I'm actually sitting back hoping that somebody out there, some part of the community, is as fed up as I am with their money grubbing nonsense and using the community for their own gains, because the community, the modding community specifically, is what made this game as popular as it is. It's not Giants that did that. It's the modding community. So, I don't know. Like I said, I'm really hoping that somebody out there, some portion of the modding community, or maybe not even the modding community, just somebody maybe just out of nowhere, puts together some kind of farming simulator game like this, takes all the aspects of this game, puts it in another game, gives us free multiplayer where we don't have to pay for a dedicated server, you know, puts out actual content and doesn't penny us with DLC, which is another thing Giants is famous for. Giants is famous for nickel and a dime with DLC. You know, they'll get you to pay like $12 for one tractor. You know, which is kind of stupid. I mean, they had their platinum pack, even their platinum pack, I looked at it and I'm kind of like, this is not worth it. This is not worth what you get. I mean, about the only thing in the platinum pack that I would really want is the winches. That's it. I want the winch mechanic. The mechanic that allows me to have winches, so I can tow logs, you know, behind a skidder, which to me should be a feature in the game because the skidder's in the game. So winches should not be an add-on. Winches should be a patch. Hey, we finally got winches working. We're going to patch them in so you can use the skidder that's already in the game the way it's supposed to be usable. Like, this gets back to the fact that, you know, they're just money grubbers. Stuff that should be in the game from square one has been added in as a patch, or I shouldn't say a patch, I should say paid DLC. It should be a patch, but it's paid DLC. And that just goes to show the Giants' mindset, which is, again, the point I'm trying to make with Farming Simulator 25, where it seems like what they did was took Farming Simulator 22, hacked in a bunch of new stuff, and then handed it out to the public. Well, it's broken. Because it is broken. There are definite there are definite video graphic issues, and I'm not the only one. I went and looked at the Steam reviews, and there's actually a lot of people that are having issues with graphics in the game, and other bugs. Not just graphical bugs, but other bugs as well. But I'm not alone in that regard. I know my computer is not the best computer. My computer is actually kind of shitty. It needs replaced. I can't upgrade it anymore. It's reached the point where it's at its upgrade limit. It's very old technology. It's like, well, I shouldn't say very old, but it's, you know, it's the motherboard is probably, I think I figured 10 to 12 years old. So yeah, it's well past being upgradable. I would hand it off to, like, I would hand it down to somebody, but for my use, for my needs, it's reached its limit. But it's definitely a machine that if I knew somebody who was in need of having a computer that could, you know, maybe play decent games like this, I would definitely hand it down to them. Probably for free. But, you know, it's for me, it's gotten to a point where my computer's basically at the end of its life for my usage, and I wish I had the ability to replace it. I don't. I do not make money off these videos. I will probably never make money off these videos. I do this just because I enjoy doing it. So, and I have a lot of obligations outside of gaming, and outside of doing these videos. I have a lot of obligations outside of doing these videos and doing gaming. So, I don't ever see YouTube videos or YouTube streaming as being a source of income for me. This is my R&R, basically, and I'm kind of happy I get to share it with you. I am actually, I do get a good smile whenever anybody says, you know, they like my videos, or they've enjoyed a video or something like that. It gives me a little bit of a smile, brightens my day a bit. So thanks for those who do leave those comments. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's one of those things. Anybody who feels like donating a computer, no, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. I do not do that. I don't expect anybody to get me anything. Except maybe a coffee once in a while. If you're a friend, maybe you'll give me a coffee once in a while. I'll get you a coffee. You know, that's the way it goes. That's the limit of what I expect people to do for me. I'll get you a coffee, you give me a coffee, that kind of thing. I don't drink coffee, so make it a hot chocolate. But anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna just end my rant on Farming Simulator 25. We're just gonna leave it at that. And I'll probably post a little note on this video saying that, you know, this is where you find that information. Maybe in the not the comment section, maybe in the video description, I'll put, like, you know, a quote unquote review of Farming Simulator 25. like I said, I didn't get any video for it because um, I started out, I wanted to try it out first, and then after I tried it out, I was like, no, I do not want to risk playing over. Because, I mean, right now, you look at the clock right now, we've been playing an hour, and I just finished talking about it. So that would have pushed me over, probably over the limit of my return window. So I did not want to do that. I wanted to be able to return it because I was not impressed, did not like it, thought it was, a cheap, basically money grab. I don't know how to explain it, but say it's a money grab. And that Giants should be ashamed of themselves, really. In this day and age, no, that stuff that they're doing is really shady. Really shady, and coming from a tech company that was basically built by, or I shouldn't say built by, but got its success from its community. I don't know. It's really shitty that they're still not paying us back. At least giving us a freebie. It's a shame that they're not at least giving us a freebie in the way of, the dedicated server. At least that would at least, go towards mending some bridges. Just it doesn't even matter, It doesn't matter if most players aren't going to do that, aren't going to play it, aren't going to use the dedicated server. It doesn't even matter. The fact that you do it, the fact that you offer it for free, or say, here it is, play our dedicated server. I don't even know where the mindset is. It's so frustrating to me. That's what builds your community. And other developers understand this. That is what builds your community. Look at the game Empyrean, for example. It has multiplayer built in. It has co-op built in. It has single player. You can get along really well just playing single player. You don't even have to play multiplayer on it. You can play single player on it. And still have an enjoyable time. But they threw in a dedicated server. They didn't have to. They did. They just threw it in. They said, here's a dedicated server. And you know what? The game took off. And it is one of the best space survival games, that I know of. It's one of the best. If somebody asks me for a space survival game, I will tell them every time, Empyrean. And why? Because it's got a dedicated server. For me, that's why it's special. I mean, there's other reasons. There's other reasons why it's special to me. One being because of the game itself. The game itself is great. There are other games like it, like Space Engineers, which Space Engineers, by the way, also has free dedicated server. But for me, Space Engineers missed the mark on a few things that Empyrean did right, and Space Engineers is a little more buggy. Actually, it's quite a bit more buggy, and the developers don't seem to care about that. So when I look at Empyrean is the game that I go to. And why do I go to it? Because the developers are there for the community. The developers actually celebrate the community. That game right now has community mods out there that are basically full game conversions, almost. One's called Eden, and they are basically full conversions. Well, they're not full conversions. They basically take the base game and enhance the living hell out of it. new items, new missions, new enemies to a certain extent, new factions. They took the base game and they just improved it so much that it's almost DLC. The mods are almost their own DLC. That's how improved they are. And the developers supported that, and the developers said, hey, yeah, go for it. They gave the community the green light, the community went with it, and made that game amazing. And, and then the developers came out with some DLC that was kind of shitty, but, that happens. I'm not going to turn on the developers for that. It does happen. Not every expansion or edition can be gold. Even developers screw up. But, point being, the reason that game took off, the reason that game ended up being so successful, is because of its dedicated server community. You have thousands and thousands of people who are playing that game all the time, constantly, because the dedicated servers exist. Because the dedicated servers are free, that's why they exist. If the dedicated servers weren't free, I can tell you right now, that community wouldn't be as big as it is. And I feel that's the flaw with Giants. I feel they need to get out there, they need to make these servers free. Actually, free is the wrong word. Free is the wrong word. As long as you have a valid copy of the game, you should be able to run a dedicated server. And it shouldn't matter if you run a dedicated server and play. It shouldn't matter. You should have, like, every copy of the game should come with a copy of the dedicated server. And their licenses should not be linked. Like, the license for the dedicated server should be secondary to the license of the game. But you should get a free dedicated server license when you purchase the game. That's how it should be. So you can maintain your copy protection. You can maintain your copy protection by saying, hey, every game has its own dedicated server, and that dedicated server has its own license. But you sell them together. The dedicated server is included with the game as a freebie, and it's got its own license. Problem solved. Problem solved. You can keep your licensing for dedicated servers, so nobody just gets a dedicated server for free. They have to actually buy the game to get the dedicated server. But you're not charging people to have a second copy of the game to play on their dedicated server. That's just stupid. It's dumb logic. I don't know where they get this mindset, because this mindset doesn't exist out in the community. It's their own mindset. They're the only company I've ever seen do this. Any other company that's done this either doesn't exist anymore, or just hasn't done it. Alright, so end of rant on that. I mean, I'm fired up because, this is a recent thing that I just did. So I am fired up about it, but I'm going to put an end to that rant right now, and we're going to continue on with our farm. Farming Simulator 2025 is a do not buy unless you can get it for 50% off. And when you get it for 50% off, then you buy your 2 copies. Fuck Giants. And if it comes out on Game Pass, then get it on Game Pass instead. Actually, if you want to shove the boots right to Giants, you can buy the game while it's 50% off. Ooh, we have a pallet almost done. You can buy the game while it's 50% off, or if it goes to 50% off. I'm not saying it ever has or ever will, but if the game goes 50% off, buy the game, and then when it goes on Game Pass, use the Game Pass to play it. Use the one you bought for half off to play a dedicated server, and then use the Game Pass to play the game. Because, I mean, who in this day and age, who's an actual, like, diehard gamer, such as myself, who doesn't have Game Pass? The only reason I have some games is because of Game Pass. Like this one. The only reason I have this game is because of Game Pass. I gotta fix this fence because it's bugging me. Straight line fence. I'm gonna make sure it goes around. You collide with another item. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. What am I colliding with? Collides with... Really? There's an item right there. What is right there? It says there's an item right here. What? I don't see an item here. It thinks there's something right here. Whatever, we'll go around whatever fake item it thinks there's there. What the hell do you think is there? The grass? Is it the grass you think it's colliding with? I don't understand what it thinks it's colliding with. Let's get rid of that then. Let's see what we can do from here. Collides with another item. Is it the grass? It's got to be the grass. Let's get rid of the grass. And then try it. It's got to be the grass. That's the only thing that's there. Collides with another item. There's nothing there. Unless it thinks it's colliding with itself. Does it think it's colliding with itself? I bet you it does. I bet you it thinks it's colliding with itself. And there's no way to turn on... I can turn on snapping, but there's no way to... But it will... Okay. It'll come out of there. So I gotta do it a tricky way. I gotta come out of there, go around like this, and then bring it in. I gotta bring it into the next one. That is weird. Wait. This behavior is so weird. Oh wait, I placed that, so now I have to come out of the second one and go... This is weird how this works. So it will not let me... Oh, it will let me come out of that. So why won't it let me connect to here? Collides with another item. What the shit? Is it the light? I don't understand what it's colliding with. It says it's colliding with another item, but I have no friggin' idea what it's colliding with. There's nothing there. Weird. I can do that. Okay, whatever. It's fixed. That is the weirdest. There is nothing here. Is it gas tank or Maybe the light? I don't know. Weird. And unfortunately, with the fence, you don't get the option to just remove the placement restrictions like you do with the objects. The objects you can remove the placement restrictions. Those stupid things you can't. But anyways, so we got that fixed. Where are we with our fields? Because I don't think our fields are ready to harvest yet. Oh, that hurt. Ow. Ankle's still a little soft here. Okay, where are we with our fields? 9.2 is getting there. 9.2 will be another 2 months by the looks of it. 9.3 will be, yeah, it'll be probably 5 months. And 9.1 will be 6 months, probably 5 or 6 months. Okay. In the meantime, what are we gonna do? We can do other fields. We can collect up our own shit. I'm pretty darn sure we have stuff that we need to get to town. You know what, I'm gonna do the town run different. Normally I take the truck. Actually, I'm not even going to town. I'm just going up the hill. But normally I do this run different. But I'm gonna do it like this. Because I think it's gonna be easier loading the pallets on this trailer than it is loading it on that truck. Because that truck I have to jump up onto, this trailer I can just lay down flat. So we're going to do it this way. I mean, I guess I could have used the truck to pull the trailer, but whatever. It is what it is. This is what we're doing now. So I'm going to back this all the way up. We'll drop her down. That's close enough. Okay. And then we'll just grab our... Really? Trying to make this easy, and it's like, fuck you. I'm going to make this as hard as I can. Lettuce. Just drag it along. Functions like a sled, right? This is definitely a much easier way than jumping up on the truck. Although it's still like... movement is still touchy, it's kind of like jumpy. Because, you know, when you tap a key, it doesn't just move a tiny bit, it moves a whole lot. Put the strawberries on. Okay. You know what, let's go through here. Grab the eggs. There's over 1,000 eggs in this stack. That is awesome. So I wonder how many eggs are actually in a full, maybe 1,500? 1,500 maybe? Eggs in a full load? That's a lot of eggs. We're gonna go get the bees too. I'm just gonna do this to make life easier. The bees are always kind of ahead of the game. Speaking of which, I can afford a couple more beehives. So we'll set that up too after we do this purchase. Or after we do the selling, I should say. Purchase. Alright. After we sell off our stuff here, we'll go plant another beehive or two. Oh, I forgot to turn our lashing off. That's fine. Thank you, my bees. Thank you for your contributions to the farm. I very much appreciate you guys. Without you guys, this farm would not be a success. You are my friends. You are my neighbors. I really hope that you are enjoying the crops that I have planted specifically for you. Right? I've planted those crops for you. Look at that. Look at the heart. See, there's even a heart symbol. Yeah, that was the dog. Look at this. My God. Bees, you are phenomenal. I love every last one of you. Go pass it on. Pass it on to the other beehives. You guys are amazing. I think I'd make a good farmer. Oh! Until I do that and just destroy my crops. That's usually when things screw up, right? I think I'd make a good farmer. Boom! Throw everything all over the place. Accidentally kill my sheep, you know. With flying glass bottles of honey. That is a hell of a lot of honey. Alright, I'm just going to grab this half pallet, because why not? Might as well. We're here, it's here, let's get her done. That is a truckload. Jesus. This is exciting. And I'm probably going to have bread up at the top too. At least some. Alright, let's roll. Look at this load. This is what you call farming. Let's get her done, folks. Adding more bees is definitely going to be the way to go, though. Look at all the friggin' honey I got. Good lord. And it hasn't even... I don't even think it's been that long since we were there last. So I'm definitely going to put this money back into the farm. We're going to get a couple more beehives. We'll put one down there somewhere. And we'll put one up here somewhere. Yeah, I know it's not accepted here. Why would I want to drop off honey there? It's a stone cutter. What purpose would honey be at a stone cutter? Maybe lubricating the gears? I don't know. I don't think that would work. It would not be a good use of the honey, that's for sure. Pretty sure the sugar in the honey would kind of grind the gears. Yeah, we've got some bread. Wunderbar. See, how about those Russians, eh? Go to launch a missile. They call up America 30 minutes beforehand and say, "Hey, we're launching a missile against Ukraine. It's not coming your way. Please don't bomb the shit out of us."
we're launching a missile at Ukraine. Okay, okay, don't shoot us. Please don't kill us. Just to show where Putin's mindset's at. Yeah, he wants the war in Ukraine to continue, but he's scared shitless he's going to piss off the Americans. I mean, technically, the Americans aren't in it yet. Same reason the Canadians aren't in it yet. We're NATO countries, which means that we've signed contracts with NATO that says that when NATO gets involved in something, we'll support them. But as far as like U.S. and Canada actually being physically involved in those wars, we are not. We're just providing the support that we've agreed via NATO to provide. So the one thing that Putin really doesn't want to do is piss off U.S. and Canada to the point where they actually get involved. Especially with the U.S., the Japanese kind of made that mistake with Pearl Harbor way back when. And I don't think Putin wants to experience that for sure. So he's doing his best. He gets on the phone. And he's like, "Hey, we're launching a missile. It's gonna be launched at Ukraine. It's not gonna be launched at you guys. As per NATO guidelines, please don't bomb the shit out of us." I don't think we're close enough. I think that's my problem here. Half this bed isn't getting picked up because it's not close enough to the building. There we go. Now we're good. Enjoy all that lettuce in the farmer's market. Look at the money going up. Chugga 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 chugga. Ha ha ha. Alright. How much did we even make? Because it was going in such weird quantities that I didn't catch all the numbers. So where's our actual? Let's find our actual for this month. Our harvest income, $7,000. Sold products, harvest. No, it's going to be sold products. It's going to be sold products, $11,000. We made $11,000 in sold products. Harvest income is going to be what we made off those fields that we got the little extra from harvesting and whatnot. So we made $11,000 off the products. Not too bad. I mean, it's not phenomenal any means, but not too bad. So we've got the money. Let's again, we can put in these hives without having access to them. It doesn't matter if we have access to them or not. So let's put them in. And I just learned that. I didn't realize that you could just have beehives all over the damn place. I thought you actually had to have this collection thing, but apparently you only need this collection thing. One of these per farm. I still don't understand that. I don't understand that requirement specifically. One per farm. Because when you talk about farms, when they use the term farm, it, to me, goes back to when you first enter the game, and it goes, what farm are you joining? Like you need to join a farm at the start of the game. So when it says farm, to me that kind of means any field or any zone I own should all come to the same pickup spot. I don't know if that's factual though. I don't know if that's fact. But that is what my head says that should mean. And I think I just kind of trained. I think I just trained that to be floating in the air. Maybe not. Did I make you float? I kind of made you float. Is it going to bug me? Yes. Do I care? No. As far as I'm concerned, you're not floating in the air. Alright? Alright.
Alright, off we go. So anyway, yeah. When it says farm, to me, farm means the Jodian farm. You know, the Jodian gaming farm. So any property that I own as Jodian Gaming is part of the farm. But what they and I don't know if this is for sure. What they might mean is per zone. It doesn't say per zone. It says per farm. So it's kind of one of those. Did they use the right word? I don't know if they used the right word for what they meant to mean. I think I know what they're saying, but I don't know if that's what they're saying, in other words. So we'll put another beehive right here. I'm actually good with the way the land deformed on that. And that should suit this field. I would hope. I don't know for sure. I don't know what the range is on these beehives. Or if they have a range. Do they have a range? Does it say anything about a range in here? If you place beehives near fields containing certain crops, will also have a slightly increased yield. Containing certain crops. It doesn't say what crops, it just says certain crops. And it just needs to be near the field. Placed at a centralized location. So that's this. And it says only one item allowed per farm. And the word farm is what's throwing me off. Because, like I said, they use the word farm to mean the area owned by a player. So like if, for example, like my farm is my farm. You know, all of these vehicles are my farm. It doesn't matter where I put them on the map. If I go to here, the area that I own, this is my farm. If I buy here, then this is also my farm. If I buy here, you know, over here, like even if I have 9 and 34, in my mind, this is my farm. Because that's the way they set up the game. When you come in, you join a farm. So basically, to me, any land owned by me is part of that farm. Now, I don't know if that's factual. Like, if I have bees down here, and I have bees, like, over here, I don't know if I need a separate pickup spot over here. Because it might be by zone, not by farm. I don't know. But then again, I'm in a unique position because I have 3 fields in one zone. Whereas normally you would have like you'd buy fields like this. You'd buy like these 3 fields, and maybe put bees in the middle, and then you'd have your little bee collector over here. So maybe it's not per zone. Maybe it is per farm. Maybe they do use the correct term. And if they do use the correct term, then that's great. Anyway. Because I can't see them needing a bee pickup for every field once you start getting out there. So maybe it is per quote-unquote farm. We'll just go with that. Or maybe there's a maximum range? No, I wouldn't say per farm if there was a maximum range. So maybe it is just one pickup location literally per farm. In which case I got that pickup location in the wrong place. That pickup location should actually be up on the hill by the what you call it? So I could just like throw them basically. That would make it much easier. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's see if that works. If I take, holy crap, I got 4 pallets already. If I take and demolish this pickup location, which I want to do very carefully. Actually, I need to go to here. Then I think I can do demolish. Yes. Okay, so if I sell the pallet location here, follow my road up. Toggle free mode, turn free mode on. And I put, motherfucker, I can put it right here. I can actually put it here. Will that sell my honey automatically? If I put it here, will it sell my honey automatically? Holy shit, let's try it. Will that sell my... Is that going to sell my honey automatically? Let's keep an eye on this and just see if it... 23, 23, 23, 23. Let's see what happens. Have I just unlocked a new way of selling the honey? Please tell me yes. Either that or maybe I glitched it out and it's now kind of stuck. One or the other. I either found a new way to sell honey automatically, or I may have just glitched it out. Now my problem is I can't click on it. I can only click on the farmer's market. So if I go to sell it, I'm going to end up selling the farmer's market, not the beehive. So I'd have to move the farmer's market to get the bees out of there. So let's hope that it pops up in a second saying that it's sold more bees stuff, more honey. Come on, sell some honey. See what happens at 8 o'clock here. Nothing. Oh! Harvest income! Alright, it is auto-selling the honey now. I don't think we're getting as much, though, because it's auto-selling the... It's selling the... It's not selling a full pallet. It's selling just whatever the initial pallet is. So I don't know if that's actually making us money, making us good money or not. Is it every half hour? Or is it every 15 minutes? Every half hour. Okay. Let's just move this over. Grab this. Sell it. Yes. Okay. Move this back. Something like that. Okay. And then we'll put this more like over here somewhere. 4 free mode on. We'll put it like over here, so I still have to manually throw them. But I don't have to throw them very far. Because I don't trust that that is giving me the full amount that I should be getting. So we'll just do it that way. That way I could just go up there and just huck it by hand. Huck the honey by hand. Okay, let's say I go up there right now and I throw that honey. Actually, I'll bring this with me. Come here, you. I want to get up there before it gets too much. Actually, I don't have to worry about that because that'll just yeah, I don't have to worry about that. I could throw it in, wait for the next pallet to show up, and then throw in the next pallet and see if I get 21. If I get 21, then it is properly selling. But again, I think I get more money for a bigger pallet. I think the more that's in the pallet, like if it's a full pallet, you get the full price, but if it's not a full pallet, I don't think you get the same price per liter. I think it's a lower price per liter, possibly. I could be wrong. I'll actually do a math calculator. Yeah, where's my calculator? Let me open my calculator here. So we got calculator, calculator. There we go. Okay, so this one's got 223. So we'll throw this in. It's 223. What do we get for that? So 408 divided by 223. 408 divided by 223 is about $1.08. Well, $1.82. About $1.82. Okay, so this one's got 25. So 25 at $1.82. 25. Oh wait. Dang it. Times 25 equals 45.7. So it is roughly the same. It is roughly the same whether you throw in a full pallet or not. You're getting the same amount. Okay, so what is it when a pallet appears? As soon as a pallet shows up, I think we gotta wait till 9:30 to see what a pallet shows up. We'll see how much is in that pallet. Because it might actually be... We might actually not lose anything auto-selling. Like having this on top of that so it sells right away. We'll do the calculation on that. So I'll get ready. I'll get ready here. And there. Okay. Ready to go. So I got the 408 divided by the 223 to give me my $1.08, and then we'll go multiply by what? Let's go. Let's give me the pallet at 9:30. We'll see if we make the same amount of money. I'm pretty sure we will. Except we're just gonna we'll set it up so we're actually making the money automatically instead of waiting for it to build up. Come on. 9:30. Where's my bees? Where's my bees? Bees. Where's my pallet? I thought it was every half hour it's supposed to show up. Or is it a half hour after you... No, it's not a half hour after you remove the pallet. It should be showing up every half hour. Where's my pallet? Is it every half hour or is it every hour? Is it every hour that a pallet shows up? So is that 20? Is that like $21 an hour I'm going to be making? No, it can't be every hour because I just made like two. I just made 2 times. So that would have been 2 hours. It didn't take me 2 hours to go down there and then run back. So when do these pallets show up? At a certain point in production, maybe? See if it shows up on the hour. Maybe did I? No, I didn't grab it at the half-hour mark. I didn't grab it after the half-hour mark. Come on. $10. Pallet? Oh, there it is. Okay. So how much is in the pallet? 25. There's 25 liters in the pallet. Oh, maybe the pallet shows up every hour. Maybe the pallet shows up every hour. But if the pallet is there already, it just keeps adding to it. Maybe that's how it works. Okay, let's see what we get from this. We got 45 from that. Oh yeah, that's right. 45.7 for 25. That's right. Okay, so I've worked out now through 3 different ways that whatever the honey is, we that's what we get paid. So I can actually put this back on top of that and have it auto sell. Unfortunately, I got to sell it to do that, which is losing me money. But we can now we can auto sell our honey. We're gonna toggle free mode, turn it on. We're gonna put it over here on the corner, just like that. Okay, so that'll auto sell our honey, which I'm really happy for. The only downside to that is going to be if I start putting honey into a production chain. But I don't think I will right off the bat here. You know what? I need to get around the farm a little better. What do we have for vehicles? Yes! Wait. This has a... Oh, yeah! What's the difference? Oh, wheels? What's the difference? Standard wheels, big AMT wheels. Does not change anything on the stats. So we're not going to worry about it. Yeah! You're damn right. John Deere Mobile. These things are old. When did John Deere put these out? These are not... This is an old machine. When did they put this out? The AMT 600. I forgot I added this. I added this a long time ago. John Deere. AMT 600. AMT 600. Wasn't this like a really early version? Oh my god. Yeah, look at that. The Gator! Yeah, they used to call it the Gator. What year was the John Deere AMT 600 made? 1987. 1987. Can you still get these? 286cc Kawasaki engine with a belt drive transmission. Hell yes. I love it. I mean, your guy is kind of static while he's riding it, but this is friggin' awesome. Can it dump? Is there a dump? Oh, it's got tension belts. Yes, it's got tension belts. Does it have a dump? Oh my god, it's got a dump. I fucking love it. Okay, this is now my favorite get around the farm vehicle. That is great. Look at how fast I can go. I'm doing 52. That's faster than some of my tractors. Woo! Although it doesn't really have the ground clearance of some of my tractors. This is awesome. Yeah, I could use this to deliver the wool to the spinnery, even because that's a separate delivery. I have nothing else that needs to go to the spinnery, and I don't think I can sell the wool anywhere else but the spinnery. So that'll be great. I can use this to drop off the wool. Oh, we got a full pallet. We're working on a second pallet. Nice. All right. This is our first full pallet of wool. It's got 1,000. 1,000? It's got 1,000 in it. Okay. Oh, oh! Don't knock over our little wagon. And okay, we need to work on that. We need to work on properly putting in pallets. Okay, we're going to take our little one here because this one is not going to be added to in any time soon. So we'll take this and we'll throw this in here too. Can we put 2 pallets in the back here? Not really. We can put 1 pallet and kind of squeeze the other one. I am okay with that. This is not a trailer vehicle by any means. So yeah, we'll just do it. We'll do it the way we can do it. Lock that down. Beautiful. That is actually probably the way the way I would do it. Except I would have the back. I would open the back up, the tailgate, and have that sitting on the tailgate. But that said, wait, is it? Can you open the tailgate? Oh, you can raise the tailgate. Does the tailgate open? Oh, it does. You can take it right out. What? What? You can take the tailgate right out of it. But can you? Oh, but it's still there. It's even though you have the tailgate gone, it's still there. It still feels. It still thinks it's there. Dang. So you can take the tailgate out so you can dump, but it does believe the tailgate is still there. There's not a separate entity to. Okay, so let's. Ooh. That could have been disastrous. Alright. That is cool, though, that you can remove the tailgate. Probably for dumping. Probably for... Oh. Probably for dumping, like, loads if you have like, a load of something loose in the back. It's a little glitchy when you have pallets slashed down. We're not going to worry about that. Okay, so... where am I going? I'm going to the spinnery. Which, if I remember correctly, the spinnery is... kind of in behind the store. It's in the store area. It's that one where we took our where we took the wool truck, or not the wool truck, the cotton truck. It's where we took the cotton before. The cotton bales. So let's take our wool bales there, and we'll see how much we get for them. I'm gonna throw in the full one first. I'll throw in the full pallet first just to see what we get for a full pallet. We're not always gonna get that, of course, because the market does shift, but it'll give us a good idea. There's our 45 for our bees. Nice. Right on the dot. 12 noon, right on the dot. So every hour we're gonna get 45 for our bees. I am good with that. Okay, so the spinnery should be right here. This should be it here. Okay, so I don't want to pull in there. We're gonna park right here. Turn off our things. Okay, so full pallet, which has 1,000 in it. So for a full pallet, we get 2,000, a little over 2,000. So we get we basically double the amount. So for 365, we should get well, about 700. 750. Okay. I'm good with that. So we basically make a little bit over 2 times what the amount is. For now. The market, like I said, the market changes, so that's not going to be constant, but that's good to know. That's good to know. We'll start eventually making our own textiles, and those will hopefully sell for more. But for right now, we got a place to sell our wool, and it sells pretty decent. I do, like I said before, want to get into dairy farming. I want to start getting cows and getting the dairy fields going. That's going to take a little more effort because that requires, I believe, cows require. Why are you going in circles? Did you not just come from? Okay, I'm not gonna. Sometimes I don't understand these drivers. I'm pretty sure he either came from this direction or he did a full 360 right around the whole thing. Actually, it'd be more than a 360. Anyway, so this little thing is friggin' cool. I'm happy with this purchase. I love that you can take the back right off of it or raise it up to dump it. That is really cute and cool. And it can carry around a pallet and, well, two pallets technically. Technically you can squeeze 2 pallets onto it, but definitely it'll carry 1 pallet. And it's a good little vehicle to get around the farm on, which is usually what the 4-wheelers and all that on a farm are for. I've yet to go to a farm. I've yet to go to a decently sized farm, I should say, that doesn't have 4-wheelers or something like this. They all do. Every single one of them. They'll have 4-wheelers or they'll have some kind of utility vehicle. Some of them will have what the hell are they called? These guys, whatever you want to call them, they'll have them. But yeah, this is the OG. This is this is the shit. And these guys were real because you take a corner with one of these guys, and she'd almost flip because it would be like a 3-wheeler, except it'd have 6 wheels or 5 wheels. But it would still respond like a 3-wheeler. If you turned her sharp, she'd try to flip over on the front wheel. So we got our field here of corn. It will be ready in, what I say, 2 months? I think I said 2 months. We have our field of wheat, which is going to be a little longer. I think it's going to be probably 5 or 6 months until the wheat's ready to harvest. We have our what else do we have? We have our canola down below. I think it's going to be another probably 6 months. I was going to change the months, but I never did. I was going to make them shorter. I kind of wanted them to be 3 days instead of 5 days, because 5 days seems a little bit too long for the months. Actually, I kind of wanted to bring the months down to 1 day or 2 days, but make the days much longer. I wanted to make the days longer, but the months shorter, or like less days in a month, but more hours in a day. If that makes sense. That would, of course, slow down, unfortunately, my income. Oh, look at the shifter! The shifter moves! That's awesome. The little drive shifter moves. Anyway, so yeah, there's definitely some downsides to that. One of the downsides is going to be
My hours are going to go by much slower, which means the income I just set up from the bees is going to be much longer. It's going to take longer to get that income. Another problem is going to be the same thing, like the berries and all that. That's all going to slow down if I make my days longer. So my fields will grow faster because the months will be shorter. Like the months will change faster, but those guys are going to take longer because the same reason. The hours are going to take longer to pass. Please tell me I can. That's priceless. That is priceless. Oh my god. You just push start overloading and it'll dump. That is awesome. How much did this thing carry? 1,000? Did it carry 1,000? Wait, what? I have to try that again. Oh, it carried 850. Okay. Carried 850 of the canola. Oh, I wonder if it carries 850 period. I'm gonna try the corn just to see if it's 850 period. That's actually not that bad. That's really not that bad. Let's see. Let's try corn and see what corn. 850. Okay, that's actually not that bad. For a little vehicle like this, I am kind of surprised. That's I think that's more than. Is that more than you can carry? I think you only carry 100 or so in the scoops. In the what do you call it? No, maybe you carry more than that. In the bucket, the tractor bucket. You might carry more than that in the tractor bucket. Maybe it's 1,000 in the tractor bucket. I don't remember. Anyway, huzzah! I'm happy we got this little guy. Does it have a trailer hitch on the back? Seriously? It has a ball on the back. Bullshit. Are you telling me right now I can hook this up to a trailer? Probably not this guy, because this guy's a 3. This guy's a 3-point. Oh. Fuck off! Are you shitting me right now? That is awesome. I can hook this up to trailers? What? That's... I can hook this up to trailers. You gotta be kidding me. Does that mean I can hook it up to... No, that's not a trailer, that's a 3-point. But wait a minute, didn't I have that 3-point thing somewhere here? Or did I sell that back? I might have sold that back. At one point I had a 3-point thing here. Does that mean I can hook up to you? You keep looking like you're turning again. I can't hook up to you. You actually need a 3-point. I can hook up to you though, probably. That thing looks like it's turning again. Oh my god. I can hook up to this. Wow. I can barely pull you and I can't steer at all because you got my front end off the ground. But I can pull you. That's crazy. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow, this little thing just got a whole hell of a lot cooler. I can pull trailers with it. This is going beyond stupid, I know, but I gotta do it. Oh my god, I can steer it, but it ain't gonna turn. Oh, that's friggin' priceless. Okay, anyway, having enough fun with this. What the hell are we doing? We have a lot of work on our fields to do. Well, in the future. Uh, wait, what? This whole time? Oh, that's a beauty. This whole time, I had a lawnmower that would actually store. Are you kidding? What? You damn right. I'm getting into the little machines now, and I'm enjoying every single friggin' minute of this. This is awesome. I'm gonna scoot you right here, and I'm gonna scoot that mower right by this guy. Let's go get that. Let's go get our new mower. Look at this thing. This is awesome. It's going to take forever to get this thing home. This is awesome. It's got a what's it got for storage? It's got about it's probably about the same amount for storage, 800 or so, eh? I think it said. You just turn the sucker on, and just meow. I could use this to get into the little spots where I can't get the bigger guy in. Do the hills and whatnot. Not that I really need to mow anything. But I mean, I am going to have to mow grass for certain things like the cows and all that. I'll need some grass for those. I need a little bit of grass here and there for the sheep. This is going to be great. I mean, I'm not going to fill silos with this. I'm not going to be doing the big silos with this. That's what my other grass stuff is for. But this will be good for topping off the sheep and the cows and stuff. This is great. This does not have a trailer hitch, which I'm fine with. I bet you I could dump this into the little John Deere, though. Tip side low. Wait, tip side low, tip side high. What is tip side high? Now I want to know what this is all about. Does tip side high mean it'll raise it up and dump it into something that's behind it, maybe? Tip side low is probably just like dumping it like a trailer would dump. I wonder what tip side high is. Gotta get home before we can try it out. It's got a light on the front too. Oh my god. That's awesome. I can mow in the dark. It even has it's got a little work light too, but I don't have to turn that on. I don't see an option for that there. Although wasn't it home? Is it home? Ah, there we go. This is an Amazon. Amazon's pretty awesome. Getting back to brand licensing and all that. Like, why would they not give you free licensing? Look at your name's all over the place. This is something that a homeowner would be looking at, going, "Hey, fuck, I'd love this at my home." Free, frickin' advertising. This is great. How much does this carry? This has got to carry a little over 1,000 by the looks of it. Because I'm at 400 liters and I'm only at 36%. There's 500 and I'm at 42. So this probably carries about 1,200 to 1,400 somewhere in there, I would guess. 1,200 to 1,400. Maybe more. Looking at the numbers, maybe more. Maybe 1,500. It's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell as it's going up. So there's our 1,000 at about 80. I think it was 82%, something like that. So it's gonna be a weird number. Maybe 14, 1,500, 1,300. It's gonna be an oddball. It's not gonna be like on the 500s. I don't think. Maybe 12. 12 or 13. 12, 5, 12, somewhere in there. Like I said, it's going to be a weird number. I think 1,200. Which, yes, 1,200 is a weird number. I can mow along the fence. It is 1,200. Okay. And what happens if you leave it running while you're... Oh, it's still... Wait, it's still gathering. Why is it still gathering? What's going on here? Well, it's... actually, I should say it's still mowing. Maybe it's not gathering. Maybe it's just mowing. Maybe that was lost. Alright, so we have tip side high currently set. Let's do an unload. Let's do an unload here because we can always pick it up with the wagon over there. Go high. So it is going to go high. Oh, it goes way high. So it will dump into something. It'll dump into a trailer or something. Okay. That is a lot of grass. So it will dump into a trailer or something. And will it vacuum it back up? Probably not. No, it will not. Okay, so you have to mow it and put it in the thing. It will not pick it back up. Okay, that's good to know. I'm willing to bet the low dump is just it just tilts it on the back without raising it up in the air. And I'm willing to bet that this could dump into that, even though the capacity of this is far in excess of that. All right, let's clean up our mess here a little bit. We'll just grab our forage wagon and pick that up. That is a very cute little lawnmower, though. And that will allow me to get into places where this tractor can't go. Like I can go right across that ridge up there. I can go up there, clean that up. For when I need grass and I'm kind of out. Can save my big areas for silage. There we go. We'll just park this back over here. There we go. So that makes me pretty happy. That little trailer. I'll tell you that right now. Or that little lawnmower. Didn't cost much. Didn't cost much at all. And it seems like it's going to be fairly useful. Actually, I'm going to put it to use right now. I'm going to get another load from it, and head over to make sure the sheep are topped off. Vroom vroom. Whoops. Picked on the fence. Picked on the fence again. Gotta stop driving towards the fence. Oh, I can't get that. I'm too close. Oh, I got it. Aha! Aha! Can I get you? Here. Can I get you? Eh. Can I get you? Nope. Apparently not. That's fine. We will continue up the hill cleaning as we go. I should say edging as we go. I don't actually know how much of this will do though along this edge, because it's just the hitbox is kind of screwed up for the fence. I shouldn't say it's screwed up. I should say it's a little bigger than the fence than it should be. So we'll just kind of skip by that and head up here. Start mowing around the top here. See what I mean? The hitbox for this fence is huge. Oh my gosh. Fence, leave me alone. Okay, there we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't drive her down the hill. We're not here to pick it up from behind the building. We're just here to mow the grass up here. Up on the hill. Where the tractors don't roam. And it'd be a pain in the ass to get a trailer in. Yeah, we're almost full. This is a very long grass. I know we're full, but I'm just going to clean this up anyways. Not that it really matters. Oh, I didn't check to see if I actually got the extra grass. I didn't check to see if that trailer was loaded with 1200 or 13 something. This is great because I could just drive this right in here. Haha, nice. Hey, buddies. We'll give you some grass. Wait a minute. We'll set it to low. Hip side low. There we go. And just dump it. All right. Here's some more grass, folks. Didn't even take it all. All right. I think I will just leave it here. Beautiful. Okay, sheep are taken care of. I'm pretty sure we got water in our thingies. And we are set up on the hill, Irene. I really don't know what else to do here. It's kind of late to be starting... some contracts. I want to kind of... I'll save those for next episode. So I think that's going to be it for this episode. We got some good stuff done. We got our bees are now auto selling. We got ourselves a little bike, a little utility bike, as well as for the times we want to run up the hill, as well as we got ourselves a little mower. I do still want to, like I said, I want to push into the cow area, but that's going to be a while. We'll have to sell off our probably sell off our stored crops before we do that, and we'll have to do some more field contracts, definitely before we do that, because that's going to be an expense. That's going to be a big expense. I'm thinking probably a couple $100,000 at least. What's the? Oh yeah, we're way over a couple $100,000.
for cows. We're looking at because we're not going to be doing the cow pasture. We're going to be doing the cow barn to start, if anything. If we choose to come in low, we're going to be doing the cow barn. Excuse me, and working our way up to the barn with the feeding robot. So that's going to be a thing. That's going to be a thing. So cow barn with feeding robot is going to be our goal. That's 722,000. But the cow barn is where we're going to start. At 250,000. So we've got some work to do. Definitely got some work to do. I'm also going to check into our sheep because we probably have sheep that we can sell off now. Same with chickens. We might have some chickens we can sell off now. But that'll all be, like I said, next episode. I'll look into maybe sales of sheep and sheep and chickens. I'll look into selling some maybe. If the pens are getting to the point of getting a little full. Yeah, and then we'll go from there. We'll look at job. We'll look at some contract work and some other work maybe we can do on our farm as well. Alrighty, so take care, everybody. This is Jodian signing off. I will see you next time. So long. See ya.